The Assau Agro-Processing Center is a facility that was built to assist farmers with the sale of their produce, but also in a very serious way. It was built with the intention of causing there to be processing value-added activities for our farmers. Over the years, we have discovered that the way in which the facility was constructed did not meet the objectives of a proper food handling and food processing area in terms of the walls and how you move around the facility. While the workers in here and the management of the facility have introduced many wonderful products, and they've been very successful between 2012 and 2016 by increasing the revenue of this facility. They've done a wonderful job, but the structures and the walls prevented them from maximizing the potential of this facility. As a result of the assistance from the European Union, we decided to engage a consultant who is qualified in food processing and food handling, a consultant who was able to assist the management of the facility and other technicians in the ministry to change the structure of the internal arrangements of the facility so that at the end of the day we'll have a better flow in terms of our food processing and in terms of our production of the value-added products. Today we saw the construction actually happening. I'm very pleased that we have started reconstruction of the internal walls of the Assau Processing Center. When it is finished, we are going to have a much better facility. We are going to have a facility with different entrances. The farmers will deposit the goods at different places, the blast freezers and so on. Some of them will be reorganized. We are going to have a much better space for the rural women who have been working in the center. They've had limited space. And even what is even more exciting is that we are going to have a range of new equipment that will be modern equipment that can be used to produce value-added products that, again, coming out of Babuno and the surrounding areas. So I'm very happy that we've been able to implement this project, and we will be able to change this facility and to make it much better, to make it into a facility that will do what it was intended for in the first place. So I'm happy with what I've seen today. Some training programs have started, and the intention is to have an area where you can have deep fryers, you can have a baking area, so that we can see maybe new confectionery and other products that young people can come into the center and get trained to do, so that they can get the training at this center and then go out into their communities to start their own businesses. And that is the kind of activity which will happen here. And I'm hoping that the young people who come here can see this as a way of creating employment for themselves. Currently, you cannot do that kind of activity successfully in the current form that the Assau Center is in its current form. So the changes will help the young people in this area to improve their skills, but also to create new opportunities for themselves. And that I'm also proud of also. That is currently ongoing at the Anse cocoa fermentery. You will recall that on many occasions I have spoken about some of the processing facilities or agro-processing facilities that were built in St. Lucia, and the fact that many of those facilities were not built to standard. In other words, for example, at the Agro Processing Facility, the cocoa fermentery, this facility was built to accommodate or to assist our cocoa farmers to semi-process cocoa, so that they would get wet cocoa and polish the cocoa, process the cocoa to a state that will give them a much better price in the market, both locally, regionally, and internationally. And the equipment that was procured for use at the fermentery, most of that equipment could not be installed because the structure of the fermentery had inadequate arrangements for the equipment to be installed. And so as part of the banana accompanying measures, the facility was redesigned. The toilets, some of the washrooms had to be redesigned and relocated. Also, the floor design had to be changed, where certain doors were, had to be, we had to change certain doors in order to accommodate the correct flow, as the professionals say it, the correct flow of operations to cause the fermentery to operate in a way that would be accepted not only in St. Lucia, but internationally. We also visited the area where the Micoud cluster of the St. Lucia Rural Women's Network, where the Micoud cluster operated. And this cluster produced things like dried bay leaf and many other byproducts. Very good activities. However, once again, the construction of certain, like the table to prepare those things was badly constructed, and that table would be broken down, a different top would be placed, the toilets at the back of the facility will be reorganized, a kitchen will be built, so as to cause the women in the Micoud cluster to operate in a space that is acceptable, again, not only to St. Lucia, but to the world, so that whatever they produce in there can be assessed. The Bureau of Standards can accept the conditions, and the place can be certified, the processes can be certified, so that the products can have real economic value. So I am pleased with the progress, and I'm impatient because I want the rural women and the cocoa farmers to really get down to work. And I'm happy that the facilities have been retrofitted and that work is moving apace. The farmers have always been very impatient, and rightly so. They have been eager to get going with cocoa. For a very long time, since about 2005 or so, a new cocoa project in St. Lucia started to take shape. We had Hotel Chocolat and the expansion of cocoa. Just in the last 3 years or so, we expanded cocoa. The acreages on the cocoa by 125 acres with 120 new farmers, and therefore it is reasonable to assume that farmers would have an expectation that they can sell their cocoa, and a lot of cocoa is now in production and farmers are harvesting cocoa, and so there's a reasonable expectation that they would be able to at least process their cocoa to a state that would cause them to get a much better price. And today's meeting again is another effort to reorganize the local cocoa organization. Most of them are in the southeast of St. Lucia, most of the farmers who are at this meeting, and I am happy that they are focusing on governance issues. How do you manage the cocoa fermentary? How do you ensure that this facility does not become another facility that will just go to ruin and to waste? And the most important factor in this has to do with local governance. It has to do with cooperatives. It has to do with building capacity within the communities and within the farming sector. And I'm pleased that this aspect this aspect has been taken into consideration, and we see a meeting going on right here today to do just that. So I wish to congratulate the farmers who have been working hard on the cocoa fields. I wish to congratulate the extension officers. We have Mr. Miller who's working along with them, the Bureau of Standards, Mr. Compton and his team, the BAM, the Banana Accompanying Measures, the Europeans, the European Union, the government of St. Lucia. I wish to thank everyone, the staff of the ministry, thank everyone who is working hard to ensure that this project is a success. And I just can't wait to see the cocoa fermentary in operation.